Yeah, I'm thrilled. I just what a crazy year 2020's been, and it's obviously been a lot of challenges, but at the same time, we've experienced a lot of great times also. And I think those are the things that make for great memories. And certainly, we've got a lot of things that we can talk to future family members and kids and everything about. And certainly, the 2020 season for Liberty Athletics, and in particular for football, has been an outstanding year. And certainly we're proud of our administration and, man, their support. I mean, obviously, that all the things that go into just getting to a game in 2020 was it took a lot of people supporting you financially, and Ian and our administration have done that faithfully to us, to our kids, and to our program. And then our kids just overcoming all the obstacles, starting back in spring practice, which was canceled, and then not normal summer workouts, and then get here and you're not sure when season will start, if it will start. And man, we're able to run off 10 straight games, and unfortunately didn't get to finish the season off with our last regular season one. But then, to get today's news that we're going to be able to play an undefeated coastal team that's ranked top 15 in the country in our second consecutive bowl game, we're just elated and just so excited. Staff's fired up. Everybody couldn't wait to get out of staff meeting to get into their meetings so that we can get ready for practice tomorrow. And just we're thrilled. So I'm thankful to again all of our support that we have here at Liberty, from our administration and everyone else academically and nutritionally, and our medical staff, everyone. And so we're just thrilled, and what a great opportunity. And we've got a great challenge, but that's what you want in a bowl game, I think. And to go measure us and see where we are, and we can't wait for this challenge on Saturday.
All right, Coach. Thanks for those comments. We will open it up for questions now. If you guys will continue to use the raise hand option, we'll kind of go through our questions. We'll start with Damien.
Hey, Hugh, you spoke Wednesday at National Signing Day about, if you find out Sunday, there's some concern about the prep time that you would have. It would be a quick turnaround. You and Coastal both had an opportunity to begin prep back in beginning of this month. And how much of an advantage will that be, I guess, for both teams, that you don't have to start from scratch in terms of building a game plan, that you already have some semblance of what you want to do to go into Saturday's game?
Yeah, it's huge, Damien. We talked with Ian several times today, not knowing which way it was going to go. But when I found out that Coastal was a possibility, we kind of had our fingers crossed, because, if not, it was going to be a really long night tonight for a lot of people. And it's not going to be that way. We already have a game plan in place that we had from a couple weeks ago. And will it tinker some? Maybe, but it's not like we have to start from scratch. And we felt good about our game plan the first go round, and so I doubt it'll change very much. So I'm sure that's advantageous for both us and Coastal.
Does it help that you have your entire staff together for putting that game plan?
Of course, and they were involved the first time in putting it together. They just couldn't be in the building. And but now everyone's back. And we hopefully have had our COVID run, and won't have any more bad news this week with that. But all the staff's in the building tonight, and excited about prepping.
All right, we'll hand things over to John Manson from A Sea of Red first.
Hey, Coach, what was it like to share the news with the team this afternoon, and how was that an in-person meeting or a video call, and what was their reaction?
Well, I haven't seen them yet. That's so I don't know. The first time I'll see them, they did their COVID test this afternoon, and then we'll have our first team meeting in the morning. But I'm sure they've heard the news, and look forward to meeting with them in the morning.
We'll go next to Dave Walls, WSET.
Coach, congratulations on the bowl game. So far, there's been, I think, 15 bowl games canceled, and there's been a number of teams who have opted out of bowl season. Just from your perspective, was that ever a consideration for you or for your staff, to say, 2020 has been a heck of a year, we've had a heck of a season, but it's time to back off, or was this always the goal from day one?
Yeah, it's always the goal. We've never, to my knowledge, I've never had anyone from administration or our staff ever consider, the alternative. I did talk to our team openly this past week and just said, I know that 2020 has been a crazy year, and certainly, us having to stay here through the Christmas holiday is not ideal and all of that. But I don't know. I just feel like we owe it to, and I'm not saying anybody else is wrong or right. Everybody's got to do what they think. I just think you ought to finish, what you start. And that's what I want for our kids. That's what I want for our program is, and it may not be ideal. Well, that's life. Life's not always ideal, but, man, we've got an opportunity to go to our second consecutive bowl game in our second year here. And to me, it never was another alternative other than, man, just Ian, tell me where we're going so we can get ready to play.
All right, next we'll go to let's go to David at FXR.
Coach, can you take us into what this afternoon was like? I know probably Ian can add to this answer, but we all kind of thought that you guys were headed to Tampa based on projections. I know that only has so much weight, but for you, what was it like trying to figure out where you were going to go?
I tell you, David, I went and played golf because I couldn't handle it. I just so I went out. Jill and I did church this morning, and then I went and played golf. And just Ian would text me, and it's nothing I could do. I mean, I didn't want to come in and prepare for South Carolina or whoever. And I just made my mind up. I was going to wait, and the only way I knew to take up the time was to go play golf. So I went out and I played around the golf while Ian would keep me updated. And I think I finally got the confirmation around 2:30. I was on hole 17. I know that. And got the confirmation that it was going to be coastal, and I immediately sent it out to our staff, and everyone was just elated and just said, "Let's go."
Okay. All right, Anthony, we'll hand things over to you now.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the bowl game. We talked a lot this year kind of about the strength of your schedule. You played 3 ACC teams. You beat 2 of them. How would you compare Coastal Carolina to the other opponents that you guys faced this year? I know they're obviously ranked 12, undefeated. How would you compare them to the other challenges you guys had this year?
Well, I haven't studied everyone that they've played, but anytime you run the table with whatever schedule you have in FBS, you're a very good football team. And from watching them on tape, there's no question. I mean, they do an outstanding job. They're well coached. They play extremely hard, and they've got a trigger man that's very, very good. And defensively, they're very stingy. So, they beat teams like BYU and Louisiana. That's 2 really good football teams, and so. We've beaten some good football teams also, and been right there in the one we lost and had a chance to win. So I think it's a great matchup, and certainly we've had a lot of time off. That's a concern, but they'll have some time off too before that. And we got to get ready to play and go take care of the football and execute. But I think it's a great matchup. I think it's one of the more intriguing matchups in the bowl season. And I think it'll be well received, and hopefully we'll put a great product out there to represent Liberty.
If I could follow up real quick, is there any advantage to playing the same bowl game that you played a year ago? I know it's at a different stadium this year, but any sort of continuity, I guess, heading down to the same city to play the same game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're staying at a different place. It's at a different venue. It's not going to be it's kind of an away game atmosphere because of COVID and everything. So I don't think there's an advantage to that in one way or another.
All right, Damon, we'll let you follow up with another question.
All right, most important question. How'd you do on that par 3 after you got the news?
Made an up and down from nowhere. I mean, it was like out of a garbage can, and I got up and down for par, so it was good.
Where's that pin placement? Was that center green or was that off on one of the edges?
Yeah,
Where you...
it was kind of back right. It's kind
Okay.
of back right.
Okay. We'll go back to Dave Walls.
I shot
Coach, I know you
even
said,
par and hit. I shot even par today, Damon, and hit 3 greens in regulation. That tells you anything.
Not bad. You play a 1 as a 4?
We play 1 as a 5.
Okay.
Coach, in the build-up to the first meeting, which was of course canceled, I know there was a little bit of talk about the rivalry between these two teams that goes back to the FCS days. I know you said that emotion doesn't necessarily play into the way you approach the game, but what did you learn about the rivalry of these two teams from talking to people who had been here, from fans and administrators who knew what this rivalry meant to the fan bases? What did you learn in the build-up to that game?
Yeah, it definitely means a lot to the people here. You know, our players, I think we have 2 players that have any kind of recollection of what this game is, but certainly to hear others like Matt Bevins and those talk about, and Ed Gomes talk about what the rivalry is. I appreciate rivalry games. I get that. And now to do it in the Cure Bowl with them and us being ranked in the top 25, I mean, that's exciting. And I know there'll be a lot of emotions going into it, but still say it'll come down to who executes the best that will win the game.
All right, let's go back to Anthony for a follow-up question.
Yeah, Coach, I was just curious what your thoughts were on the rest of the playoff rankings. I mean, obviously, teams like Cincinnati, Coastal, they finished undefeated regular seasons and really didn't ever get any love when it came to the top 6 or even the top 4. What's kind of your thought on how that all kind of shook out and what that means for programs like yours? Do you think it's possible to get to that top 4?
Yeah, I've always been pretty vocal that I like the way the BCS was set up. I don't think there's any perfect way, but I did like the way the BCS was, and every bowl game meant something, and it was pretty special. And I've always been a proponent of the BCS model +1 after all the BCS is over. I don't think you're ever going to satisfy, every single whatever you choose, whether it's a playoff, whether it's BCS. So it's very difficult. And I don't envy those people in the room, in particular in a year with COVID where some teams played 6 games, some people played 10. That's a very difficult task for anyone. So I certainly don't want to act like I would have the answer. I don't. I just have always been a fan. I like the old way of the BCS, and I would like to see us play the bowl games and then have a one more game after the bowl games for a national champion. But there'd be some people that complain then also.
All right, let's go. We'll go back to David for a follow-up question.
You spoke up on this a bit earlier, the importance of playing in a bowl game, considering this is the second full year in FBS. Can you expand on that more, considering also, I mean, with UVA and Virginia Tech opting out, so many other teams opting out, the opportunity to represent Virginia on the national stage. I mean, how important is this opportunity for this program in the trajectory of the long term?
We believe in it. We believe that anytime we get to put our program on a national stage, that it's of value and it has merit. And we've endured everything that came at us this year. Our team has have many. And, we think it's important to finish. And I think it's important for our partners and the bowl games and the TV partners and everyone that we finish. And, and that's our goal. And hopefully COVID will leave us alone this week and we'll be able to do that. But that's what we've always felt like was important. And for us to get to represent Liberty on a national stage on ESPN on the 26th, against the top 25 opponent, man, you know, that just look where we are in our program in year 2, and that speaks to it, and it speaks to recruits, and to, you know, that's what we want to be about every single year is playing in these types of games. So we embrace it, and we're excited about it. Really, I know a lot of people, it doesn't seem like maybe real excited about going to a bowl game, but our staff and our kids are.